Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. That's right. I'm not really into the whole self-promoting thing, but alas, I really don't have much say in the matter. The channel needs your guys' support to keep going, and I guess I have to ask for it. So, this is Waterway hay season. Well, not really. Everything we're doing this year is behind the last year. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's Ryan's fault, but there was a wedding there about the 1st of July that we were trying to, you know, stay prepared for. And, well, let's just say it just happened to fall on the day that Ryan got married. So nothing really wrong with it. It's just, all it did is, whoops, we didn't do, like, we didn't cut hay or whatever when we, like, the weather allowed, and we didn't, you know, really didn't have much say in the matter. So I am working on first crop. Yeah, that's right, I am making first crop, and it's Waterway hay. I don't know if I'll get a second cutting off of it. It's kind of irrelevant to me. It's going to my beef cows regardless. I just dumped out the 3rd bale of this afternoon, right before I turned the camera on, and it's not yielding too bad. I think it could have yielded a little bit better so far. Probably gonna end up with about a wagon load, which really isn't too far away from the norm. I mean, in the past, normally I make this a few weeks ago, and I would have made a second cutting, but it seems how it's the end of July. Let it go until 1st of September, and we'll see what it looks like. I don't want to get carried away trying to come out and run around all these waterways, running around in circles and backing up and pulling ahead and doing zigzags just to get, well, let's face it, a first cut only yields me about 8 or 9 bales, and I'll probably put it up in a text here how many bales I got off of it. It's not going to be worth it to come up and cut all this just to get 3 or 4 bales. It's just not. It's not worth the wear and the tear on the equipment and my mental health. Backing up all these waterways, because some of these, I think this first one I'm gonna drive up here, or the next one is fairly long, and yes, I did drive up or back up the whole thing twice. I used the 46 and that the other mower. The wider mower definitely is the way to go. 13 foot versus the 11 foot deer, just because we've officially reached that point where we're growing, and it's starting to turn into we're outgrowing some of the equipment we're running. And that deer machine, I like it. I like it a lot. The hydraulically controlled cutter bar tilt, the width of it, I like the frame on it, and it just, when you're trying to run in the same field as the other mower that's taking out 13 feet at every pass, and you compare the two passes side by side, it makes the amount of material that you're cutting in a pass with that deer look kind of sick. And, you know, I only got so many hours in a day, and it seems like the amount of hay acres we're making every year is growing. I mean, to me, it seems like this year, I really haven't put a number on it, but it really does feel like this year would compete with how many acres we were farming, running, grass acres, hay acres, alfalfa, you know, hay acres. We were running when Grandpa was here. And you know what? Let me flip the camera around. You know, it takes a wrench just to do this. So, how's everybody doing? Perfect. So, it seems like we are making more hay. We're covering more acres this year than we have in the past. Granted, we seeded down a bunch, and you know, it's the end of July and I'm still essentially making the first cut. I got to do the similar job down at my place. I got, I don't know, probably 5-7 acres, give or take, of waterways I'll end up making at least once. And I've made it twice in the past, but it seems how we're letting the cows out in the field anyway, and it's being fed to those cows. Making the first cut and getting that stuff baled up and feeding that when the snow is like up to their tails, the cows will eat that. They'll clean it up. But when I give it to them free choice in the field, as in I don't make it, we let the cows out in the field. Okay, take this stuff for example. If I was able to let cows out here and tried to get them to eat it, they won't. They'll go through and they'll clip off any of the new growth that's down underneath it, but they aren't going to clean up that first cut, that first growth. I mean, maybe some people's cattle do, but I wholeheartedly believe all cattle are different. And ours, my dad's in particular, are bottom, like, they're pretty much all equipped with bottomless pits. They'll eat non-stop, but then it does feel like they do get awfully picky. A lot pickier than what they should be. So what I like to do is go ahead, make first cut. That's what I'm currently planning anyway. Make first cut off of it, get, you know, 15, 20. Actually, I think we got, last year, I think we did get like 25 bales off that down at my place. And, you know, that's enough. That's enough to make it worthwhile. Here's my long waterway where it actually goes up and curves out of sight. I would rather take the first cut off, let the regrowth come up, especially now that we're this late in the year. Let whatever regrowth is going to come up. Yeah, we'll drive through it when we're making the crops and everything, but we let the cows out, let the cows clean it up. The cows will harvest it a lot cheaper than we will. Now, the other side of that argument is if I could have gotten all this stuff made in June, I would have let it go until about August. And I would have made another cutting off of it and still had a bit of regrowth there for the cattle. But with everything, it just seems being pushed back this year. I think I made a goofy looking bale. Uh-oh. Oh, it's gonna wrap. With everything being back, like pushed back this year, we're already sitting very healthily on hay. My brother is, Ryan is currently, Dad and Ryan are raking. If you guys saw at the beginning of the last video before this, the raking video, that was about 2 hours ago. I got done raking. Same day, different videos. Dad's running the 46 dualed up and the Rhino cutter, and Ryan's currently chasing him around the field. I don't know how green that stuff is for how, ooh, that is heavy. And everybody take notice, not my balding head. I look like my grandpa. If you guys, I'm pretty sure this is I'm looking more like my grandpa Keen was when he was my age, because I see my grandpa a lot when I look in the mirror. And that right there, it's a little lopsided, yes it is. But this stuff, granted, that is a really nice looking bale. A little lopsided, my fault. It's gonna be taken up to the farm, stacked outside end to end, and I'll probably have the stuff fed out before the end of the summer. Pretty sure it'll be fed out before September. We'll see. Doing that, as far as taking notice, What I mean by that is, with this baler, it sits lower to the ground, and I am able to gradually open the end gate and control that bale hitting the ground and making sure that it isn't going to pick up any momentum. And this guy, when the bale falls out, it really doesn't gain much anyway, which I'm going to go right ahead and say I do prefer this baler for doing these tight areas, these waterways like this. I mean, if I have the option, I would rather run this. I could do it with the 569, don't get me wrong, but having the two balers like we do, whoa, it's allowing us to oh, Ryan just called. I don't know where I left you guys at, but the stuff that he's baling, or he's been baling, is too wet, so they're gonna wrap it. I mean, ideally to make dry feed, I mean, where you know it's not gonna spontaneously combust, you're looking at like 15%, give or take, and that stuff's about double that. So there isn't a whole lot of hay out there. I mean, it's not going to be as heavy as first cut, but what they're going to do is they're just going to go ahead. They're already hauling it in, I guess. Dad's done raking, so Dad's running around picking bales up already, and they're just going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I'm going to end up going from here. I got to go do the last field that Dad raked, because I'm actually closer to it than what Ryan is. It just makes more sense that way. I'll go through and run over and bale it quick for him. He can start getting stuff wrapped, and second cut alfalfa will be done for the most part. I'm dumping out, oh, we're gonna see it really quick here. I think this is 8. I think this is 8. I lost count. I really wasn't watching, to be completely honest. But, oh, wasn't that what I was saying? That the reason I like this baler for doing waterways is doing that. I can just dump them out nice and slow like that, and the bale just drops out. And if it tries to roll away, the end gate is still over top of the bale, and the end gate will keep it from rolling away. And then also, smaller tractor, plus the backup camera, makes it a lot easier for knowing how far I can back up if I need to back up in any of these tighter waterways. That's if I can back up. It's if I can turn around in them, otherwise I gotta back all the way down them. So like right here, the planter quit planting, so I can actually back into there and take off. So with 8 bales, I can officially say this was a win, and worth it, you know. And I'm gonna go and finish up the last of this. We actually might have about 9.5. We are gonna have 9, because by the time I get done here, kind of a way to burn up half a day raking and baling it, but overall 9 bales, 8-9 bales will go a pretty good ways for me. So, and this right here, to defend myself, this, where it's got all the inputs for growing corn, but there's no corn here. That is a product of the planter acting up, and I was breaking those shear bolts and those sprockets were giving out and everything. This was the last field I planted before we corrected that, and this is a product of that. I got 2 spots on here where I got these ugly unplanted spots, but luckily for us, the weeds and everything really didn't take hold, as in it was sprayed off like everything else. The grass is kind of encroached in there a little bit from the waterway, but all in all, I think we'll be fine. I mean, it isn't going to amount to a whole lot of acres. So at that, 8 bales, I'm currently sitting at 8.5. I think that's enough for this video, and thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more rest of the story videos. It greatly does help the channel. I mean, I greatly appreciate it. So anybody that is a little bit reserved on leaving much of a comment, you don't have to say much of anything. You can say good video, or how you doing, or first, second, 278th like. I mean, that's just how that stuff works, I guess. So the channel's springing some life back into it, which gives me a lot more enthusiasm for doing this. So with that, thanks for watching. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later.